Today, we're going to dive into some seriously high-level language from a really fascinating IELTS reading passage. It's all about scientific discovery and how new ideas actually come about. Trust me, this is a total goldmine for your speaking and writing tests. We're going to break down how you can use this language to build an absolutely killer argument.
So the whole passage really kicks off with this one central question. Is innovation just a flash of sheer genius? That phrase right there, sheer genius, that's our first key collocation. You know, it's that idea of pure exceptional skill we think of with people like Einstein. But is that really the whole story?
Well, conventional wisdom, another great phrase for what everyone just assumes is true, would say yes. But the passage argues that this idea actually misrepresents the real nature of discovery. You can already see how these phrases are so much more than just vocabulary, right? They're tools for building the kind of complex argument you need for a top score in IELTS.
To get you comfortable with this, we're going to follow a really clear path. First, we'll look at language that describes this myth of genius. Then, we'll get into collocations for challenging those beliefs. After that, we'll explore the true gradual process of discovery. We'll wrap up with phrases for describing insights, and then pull it all together for you in a final review.
Okay, Section 1, the myth of genius. Now, these first few phrases are absolutely perfect for the introduction of your essay. Using them is a super effective way to set up a common belief that you're about to discuss, analyze, or maybe even challenge.
What's so cool here is how all these phrases really support one central idea, the lone genius. You've got sheer genius, conventional wisdom, and this idea that breakthrough scientific achievements are these monumental contributions from just one person. It's that classic light bulb image, right? A brilliant idea that just spontaneously pops into someone's head.
And this example shows you exactly how to apply it. When you use a phrase like breakthrough scientific achievements, it just instantly adds that academic weight to your writing. It's a signal to the examiner that you can talk about big historical events or innovations with precise, really appropriate language.
All right, let's move to Section 2 and see how we can build on this. So now that you've introduced a common belief, you need the language to start picking it apart. These collocations are your go-to tools for building a really strong counterargument in your main body paragraphs.
So the key thing here is the tone. It's formal, it's academic. Phrases like misrepresents the real nature or undermines the notion are just fantastic for disagreeing politely but firmly. You can dismiss ideas that are too simple by calling them naive notions. And if you want to be even stronger, saying something gives lie to the claim, well, that's a powerful way of showing an idea is just plain false. Just look at this example. Instead of saying, this proves the idea is wrong, using undermines the notion is so much more sophisticated. It shows nuance. You know that you can weaken an argument instead of just shouting it down. This, right here, is the kind of language that's going to push your writing score into those higher bands.
Okay, so if innovation isn't just a flash of genius, then what is it? And that brings us to Section 3, the true process of discovery. After you've challenged the myth, you need the right words to describe the alternative. This is all about the more realistic, evolutionary nature of progress, where innovation is the slow, steady, and often collaborative journey.
This group of phrases helps us tell that totally different story. So, innovation isn't a lightning strike, it's a process of trial and error. Knowledge has a cumulative nature. It builds up layer by layer. It's often a collective and cumulative enterprise that stands on the shoulders of these lesser-known predecessors who, you guessed it, paved the way for all the famous breakthroughs.
And we can see this in action with a classic example. The idiom pave the way for is just perfect for showing cause and effect. It explains so elegantly how one development creates the conditions needed for the next one to happen, which is a key skill you need in so many analytical essays.
So we've talked about the process, but what about the results, the outcomes? That's what we're covering in Section 4. This set focuses on the results and the sometimes surprising twists and turns of innovation. How to describe new ideas, really important work, and those unexpected happy accidents.
Oh, this group has some really impressive vocabulary. I love this one, deeper insight to be gleaned. It uses that sophisticated verb to glean, which means to gather something bit by bit. And pure serendipity, what a beautiful phrase. It's a high-level way of saying you found something amazing purely by chance. These phrases show you can handle abstract concepts with real precision.
I mean, this is the classic example, right? Alexander Fleming wasn't trying to discover penicillin, it just happened by accident. Describing this as an act of pure serendipity is just the perfect way to capture that idea of a fortunate, unplanned discovery.
It's a fantastic phrase that really demonstrates a high level of lexical resource, and trust me, it's one that examiners will definitely notice.
And that brings us to our final section, the review. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, building up this entire argument. So let's put all of these powerful collocations in one place for you. Think of this as your personal toolkit for talking and writing about innovation and discovery.
So here it is all together. On this slide, you've got the complete toolkit of all 20 phrases we've talked through, from describing the myth of sheer genius to critiquing naive notions and celebrating groundbreaking work. Seriously, I'd pause here or take a quick screenshot. Read them out loud, try making your own sentences, and start weaving them into your practice sessions.
So, that wraps up this explainer. We've seen how you can use language to both build up an idea and then carefully dismantle it, all while discussing the nature of innovation. The real question for you now is, which one of these powerful phrases are you going to use first to really elevate your own IELTS performance?